Okay, as promised, I'm going to do the swap out the retention spot for this KT AKELA holster. What I've got, you're probably all familiar with the Blackhawk Serpa style holder with the paddle. You may not be familiar with this system here, which is their quick disconnect system from Blackhawk. It's got your 3-bolt pattern there. Normally the tan would not be in there, and this part would be attached to the paddle, and it can also be attached to something that would look more like this instead of the paddle. That's just a loop for your belt to run through. So what the tan is a quick disconnect, and what it allows you to do, you've got a male and female, and you can take this and set it in there and turn it, and it will lock. It allows you to index however you might want it. You can index it different ways, so you could have it sitting at a 90-degree angle or whatever it was you needed. It's really handy whenever you're talking about running on a chest rig or something like that. But for conceal carry on something like this paddle, it's a negative because it spaces it out that much farther. Spaces it out far enough that whenever I would do my draws, my finger would hit the spine, the back of the gun, because it spaced it out just enough. But that's overcomable and overcomable. Good Lord. You can overcome that. But the advantages that it gives you is you can have, I can take this, and with this setup here, first of all, it doesn't take up near as much space as all of this if I wanted to set the gun in the holster down somewhere. Since this Serpa has positive retention, if you have a Glock or some striker-fired handgun with no external safety, this can be treated as a safety because it's going to take more dexterity and strength to remove a gun from this holster by pressing that button and get it out of there than it does to simply flip a safety off. So it could be used as a little bit of a safety mechanism, especially if the gun's going to go in a drawer or something like that. But this QD system will let you attach a female to your dresser drawer, to underneath the dash of your car, in the glove box or whatever, and on the wall somewhere, and give you positive retention from one place to another. Like if you had this on your hip and you had another one of these on the wall in your shop or in your car, you could just leave the gun still with the trigger and everything protected, unclick it from the QD and click it into its next place in line. So I wanted something like that. I wanted to be able to retain that function with a light bearing holster. So that's what I've done here is KT Mechanical, they did 2 custom holsters for me, both of them light bearing, and this one they did where it will accept the universal bolt pattern for the Blackhawk stuff. The only problem is that it's looking like it's a different bolt hole pattern. It was supposed to be the same bolt hole pattern, so we're going to go ahead and get to it right now, and let's just see what we've got. Maybe I'm wrong, but just looking at that, it looks like it's a different bolt hole pattern. But they may have provisions for that in the back. They may have some different patterns available. And we're spinning. See if I might be able to grab some pliers so I can get in there behind them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a hold of the rubber spacer in there. By squeezing on that rubber spacer, it should put enough pressure on that grommet on the back side. See the shiny grommet right down there? That is the one that I am working against. I'm not going to be able to hold it up where you all can see it at the same time I do it. It's in there pretty good. It's not going to take much to hold on to it. Just kind of, there we go. Just barely grabbed it with the needle nose on the back side. Does just fine. That one's gonna looks like all of them are gonna require a little love on the back side. One as well. And all it takes is just a little bit of pressure with those pliers just to get it broken loose, and then it'll just come right on out. There we go. Still using the backup camera, so I had to adjust it a little bit. Whenever I talk about the backup camera, I don't mean to put it down. It still has a pretty good picture, and it is the camera that I'm giving away when the time comes. Okay, so here's what they've done. They've got a few different options in their patterning. Very, very smart. So for this style, it runs that pattern. Looks like I'm going to be able to run this grommet right down here to match up with the Blackhawk. And this will allow you to set it at different angles and stuff, but since we're doing the QD on it, we can set our angles with the QD. So we'll pull that rubber off the back side. And this is what we're dealing with there. What I'll do is hold it in my hand like that. When you run that rubber grommet on there, it's going to hold it. Now we'll leave that the way it is. This is how you can purchase this Blackhawk system. It's the quick disconnect system. You see it comes in multiple colors. It comes in olive drab green as well. You can buy the parts individually. I prefer, for the money, you just go ahead and buy the kit, because you end up with 2 females and a male and your attachment hardware. And something else I'll show you from Blackhawk. This is their strike plate here. What it does is it is designed to go into molly webbing. And you can see from all the holes you've got multiple ways of positioning it. And so like you see here on my battle belt, my loadout belt, I have a flat dark earth, one of these, and it's looped in to the webbing, and then my female QD is right there. And that allows me to run my handgun in there, and what this is going to do is, since I'm doing all this QD now, I can run this on my loadout belt as well. But these are really inexpensive, and they're really nice if you run molly webbing. So, let's see what we've got. Male, 2 females, the hardware. So we will put our male system on there. You see it's got a few different holes for different patterns as well. And all you got to do is just simply match them up. You can double check it and make sure that there's not some particular indexing that you want, but as far as I can tell, it's only going to index one way. Tell you what I'll do. These come with a bunch of different types of hardware, and this hardware is steel, whereas the hardware that came with the KT holster was, I believe it's aluminum. Let me check here. I don't want to tell you wrong. Yeah, it's aluminum. What came with the KT holsters, it was aluminum, and this is the steel, a little bit larger screws also. They came with the Blackhawk QD system. So I'll just go ahead and change this out if I'm able to. Let me go through here. We've got a couple of different sizes of screws and hardware. I'm going to sort through this real quick and then I'll be right back to you. Alright, we're going to drill out the holes just a little bit. Wanted to go ahead and just get that top one a little bigger in case I ever decide I need to change things around. Anytime you freehand something like this when you're drilling it, I'm letting this hit against my tool post, because if you guys can see, this is actually a mill that I've mounted onto my lathe. Lets me do certain work with tubular receivers like Sten guns and stuff like that. CZ42s, 46s, all that stuff. The 24s, I mean. So there we go. Now you look there, and the first part of that fits in, but the splines don't. That means that's good, because we'll be able to suck the splines into there from the back side, and that'll keep this from having to have pliers put on it. While you're looking there, I'll go ahead and let you all see what I was talking about with, excuse the bumpiness here, my tripod's hitting everything. Sorry guys. Okay, there we go. Yes, that's an air canister, CO2 canister. I just chucked it up. I was actually going to see about using a section off of it for something. No, I'm not doing anything illegal. No, that's what you guys were thinking. Okay. Now I turned it around. Let's see what we get here. Now you've got longer and shorter ones for depending on what thickness you're going through. We're going to go with the longer ones. see how this plays out. Go ahead and run a second one in over here to keep my male QD plate from wanting to spin on me. Now, it's gotten tight, so we're going to keep on tightening on it and see if we can't suck those in. Now they're turning on us right now. I'll hold my finger on there and see if I can keep it from spinning. Once you get those splines engaged, shouldn't have to hold it. There we go. Sucking it right on through there, keeping it from turning on me. Before I tighten it down too far, I'll go to the second one. Now that you see what it's doing in the back side there, suck it down and not tighten it too far. We want to get our third one in. This one could be a little trickier. This one I'm just going to keep my finger down there on it until I get it to start tightening without spinning. That would be now. And these Blackhawk screws already they've got Loctite on them. That's why you didn't see me putting any on. There's that. Clips right on. So let's see what we've got here. I have my Tommy Thies inside the waistband holster on. So what we'll do, I'm just going to throw this paddle on real quick, just for a test. Get my belt drawn up, running those inside the waistband holsters. You have to have your belt and pants a little looser than normal. There's that. Okay, now you see how far it sticks out? It's like I'm in a Western. That's what I was saying, that for concealed carry, this QD system is not ideal, but for range and for other certain purposes, it is great. You see the angle that it's at right now? Say that I decided I wanted it at a different angle. It's at a slightly different angle. I can set it however I want. You know, if it's on your chest rig, you can set it certain ways. You could angle it to the back. A lot of options with it. And again, this is not for everyone. it is a method. So for around the shop though, I believe that this is a really nice way to hold it. It doesn't get against me, it's not uncomfortable. It's a really good way to go about it. And of course, you know, stretching a t-shirt over it, I mean, I look like I'm deformed. This is more of an open carry setup. Especially if you're just around the farm or in the house. And it gives you capability of running a light. And yes, this gun is charged, it is loaded. I'm not gonna shoot you, don't worry. And there we go. There's just another way of using KT Mechanical's custom holsters and Blackhawk QD system.